Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Somebody sent me a picture of their new Corvette, and I'm very jealous. And he sent me two examples of what he did, and it's kind of rough around the edges, as you can see. And then he sent me another one of trying to get some of the background out of the way. I don't ever hand trace anything, but Corel will not trace this because you've got smoke or steam coming out of the motor. You've got shadows, you've got asphalt, you've got glass, you've got buildings. So I wasn't going to do a video, and then I was playing around with it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video. So the one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it this size because it doesn't matter. I'm going to trace the whole thing with a 3-point curve line. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take the transparency tool and I'm going to make it transparent. What's going to happen there is I'm going to be able to see my line better. And I am going to do this a little bit different. I'm not going to have you watch me trace the whole thing, but I'm going to use the 3-point curve line on the whole thing. I'm going to leave out that exhaust pipe right there, and I'm just going to draw, and then I'm going to double click, and it makes it a line. Then I can go here, and I can back up and give it a little bit of a curve line. Now I'm going to go all the way across the tire, kind of even with that part, about where the tire was be. I'm going to hold down the control button, and the control button is going to give me a perfect half circle. The tire's kind of hard to figure out exactly where it is. So we're just going to zoom by and now take the 3-point curve line. So when you're using the 3-point curve line, and this is a little difficult right in here, I actually traced that. You just double click on it, and I'm going to actually kind of leave that in the picture. And then because there's very few straight lines in this car, so you'd be switching back, but you can draw a straight line. And see, that's pretty straight. And I'm just clicking. Now I'm going to go over to the tire. And then I'm going to go all the way to the other side of the tire, holding down the control button. And what that does, it gives you that perfect circle. I said I wasn't going to trace the whole car, but it won't take any time. And if you don't have any interest in this, just stop watching and go do something else. So there's a little bit of a curve. Here's a little bit of a curve. I'm just trying to get close. You could go back and critique it later. I mean, most of that stuff will not show up, especially if you're going to put it into a background like I just did. The picture's kind of garbage here. You can't really tell what's going on, but I'm going to go in and just kind of mimic it. I don't know what that part of the car is. You know, you just want continuous straight line. You know, that's a shadow or a license plate holder. And see, if you ever get off, you could always move with the shape tool. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. I'm just clicking, and it makes it act like a 2-point line. Now, I'm not taking too much time because he can do that if he wants. I already sent him the car, the photo. Now, see, there's no straight line here, so I'm just going to put a little curve to it. And the least amount of jig-jag you do, the better. And the top of the car is actually easier because you can kind of see what's going on. But I'm a firm believer that the transparency tool makes it a lot better. And see, this is part of the car here. We need to just give it a little bit of a curve. Now we're over the windshield and we're going to be going home here in a minute to the back stretch. So just stay with me if you're still with me. See, that's pretty much a straight line, but you'd probably want to curve it a little bit. And so you could always take your shape tool and just give it a little bit of a curve later on. The back is really sloped. I'm really jealous. I had a 2003 Corvette, but I got rid of it because I just never drove it. Now I have a break in the line, so I'm going to just take my shape tool and just bring that down. And at that time, I need to curve that up. And one reason I decided to make the video, we're gonna change some things up. And when we put it in another picture like I did, you can see some things wrong with my trace, and I'm gonna show you how I fix that. So I'm not taking a great deal of time. I got the 2-point curve line, I didn't have my curve, because you want a little bit of a curve to most of this stuff. We're almost there. And like I'm saying, for the video, I took a little bit more time when I was doing it to show him what it would look like. You know, that's hard to say what that even is. Now, if you make a mistake, just back up and start over and just give that a little bit of a turn. I'm going to go there. Whoop. And see, I'm going to get this little turn here. So I'm going to go to there and double click. And then I'm going to go to here. And then I'm going to get my turn. And then I'm going to go down, and I'm probably going to give this a little bit of a curve. We're almost there. We only got to connect a few lines. Now, one thing we want to do when we're doing this is make sure that we smart fill carefully, because we don't want to, if we miss a line, we don't want to have the smart fill tool go over the entire car. Now, right here, got a little bit of a jig, and then one more line. And I don't know that I've gotten them all connected. I think I do. Well, let's call that good. I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. Now, I'm not sure I've got all my lines connected, so I'm going to take a rectangle, and then I'm going to fill it in with color, and you can see I don't have them all connected. So this is a good trick. Get rid of that box, select, don't ever move it, select all your nodes, and then select them with your shape tool, and then select them, all the nodes. You go to Windows, Dockers, Join Curves, and hit apply. I've got mine set on 0.01. And now I'm going to still put a rectangle, but I guarantee it's not going to leak, or almost will guarantee. So there you go. Now I'm going to nudge that. I'm going to nudge it back because I'm set on really low. So I'm going to say this is 22 inches. Let's make it 25. I'm going to nudge this out of the way. I'm going to put my car back. I'm going to nudge it down. I'm going to take away my lines, and I'm going to get the transparency tool. I should have made a copy of this, but I didn't. So I'm just going to bump it back up to full strength. I'm going to grab basically it's a mask of the car, put it on top, select everything, go up to intersect, and there is our traced car. And you could still change some things, you know, like you could take your smoothing tool, and like I didn't take a lot of time once set on a lot of inches, and just kind of smooth that out. When you smooth that out, it'll make stuff non-noticeable. I mean, I did pretty good going as fast as I did with smoothing tool, and just, you know, smooth that out. You know, who's going to know really what it is? Now, I realized when I was playing around with it, I actually put this car into a picture, into a racetrack. But I noticed that the window of the car is not correct. Let's make it a little reduce, and let's mirror it, and let's put it in the racetrack. Go up to Object, Order, Front of Page, and you can't see through the windshield. It doesn't look like this one. Let's make it smaller. And you can see that the windshield is the dealership, and my windshield now, or the side window, is see-through. Like you can see that line. So we're going to fix that right now. We're going to go here. Let's tell you what, we're going to nudge it out of the way. And we're going to go here, and we're going to take our 3-point curve line again. And we're going to go from there to there, and then double click. From there to there, and double click. Now this has a little bit of a curve, so we're going to give it that curve. This doesn't really have any curve, but we're going to leave it alone. Now We could do that little part right there, but I don't think it's necessary. We're going to fill that in with that tan. I'm going to move it out of the way because I'm going to get rid of my outline. And then I can nudge this back, and I'm going to go select everything and go back minus front, and it took that windshield away. So now if we take our car, that line shows through the window, and it makes it look like, and then when you click off of it, it makes it look like it's really sitting there. And you could do a lot more. You could, that would be pretty cool to have dueling Corvettes, make them the same size, but see how you can see through the window and you can see that line and see the little bitty, when you clicked on the car, you'll see little bitty nose, but when you click off of it, you won't. That looks a little funny because it's setting, looks like it's floating, but it's kind of neat that you can see through those windows. And that's really the reason I decided to make the video. Anyway, little fun project, and thank you for watching.